My name is Giverson, Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Susan Thuku. So join us for the next one hour for news within, of course, across the country. And straight away, I want to take you to West Pokot. There has been a tragedy that has occurred this morning, or rather this afternoon, and it is reported that a gold mine tragedy has claimed 11 lives, and of course, several others have also been injured. They're receiving treatment at Kapenguria Referral Hospital, and Governor Simon Kachapin says rescue efforts are ongoing at the Rumors gold mine site. Take a look. To ensure we bring you to speed when we have it. And away from that, motorists across the country will soon be able, or rather, motorists across the country will soon be, and we apologize for that. I'm told okay, motorists across the country will soon be able to. Now we apologize for that particular story. And now let's take you to Karura Forest, where the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has raised serious concerns regarding the active participation of state and public officers engaging in political campaigns. The anti-graft body warns that engagement in politics by state officers could lead to a culture of lawlessness, impunity, and uneven political playing field. While acknowledging that the Leadership and Integrity Act provides limited exemptions for CSs, the EACC has declared that other state officers, particularly principal secretaries, are strictly required to remain apolitical.
Takuletea wewe mtazamaji mafunzo, mawaidha na pia burudani kutoka kwa munchi tofauti.
Na wewe ulijue kwamba kumbe mimi pahala nilipo popote Allah tabaraka wa taala ananiona. Kile ninachokifanya, kile ninachokizungumza kinarekodiwa. Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala
Alhamdulillah qail yarfa'illahu alladhina amanu minkum walladhina utul
Alhamdulillah الحمد لله المبدئ المعيد الفعال لما يريد حمدا يكافئ نعمته.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible
to
make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Shanga, mnaleta kotini sababu ya 250,000 only. Kumbuka kurudi chini nilikuta na ngumi ya kifua pamoja. Nikamuuliza bwana, ndiye tunaulizana nini? Hiyo striker yetu ni mtu ya kukosa goli, akapiga mpira mpaka Northwest. Sasa si hivyo ndio ile fundisho.
Anaona hao watu wengine hao iko chini, hakuna kitu unaweza waambia yeye.
So they come the guys inside. Toa fujo, wakatukanana, halafu vitu zangu za hoteli zikafunjwa. TV yangu ile kubwa ya 2 inches ikafunjwa.
2 inches we got.
My name is Irene Muigai.
My name is Steve Muigai Kim. We met at campus while we were at Egerton University, Joro.
I just saw a guy and we grew to be very good friends.
But alikuwa nakatiwa anakuja ananiambia niliachwa.
And he asked me to be the girlfriend.
Dad did not attend their wedding.
Mom, dad ako wapi? Kwani hawajafika? My ankle had to be pulled.
We differed. Ile mbaya ile ya kuachana just because of a key holder. Was it a key holder?
And so I'm very intentional as a mom to help my kids process things.
Who apologizes first after a fight? Oh.
Now, we do apologize for that technical hitch that we were not control over, but so far it has been managed. And now, hundreds of learners at Loruk Comprehensive School are facing a daily struggle to access education after rising waters from a Lake Baringo cut off the main access road. Now, what was once a simple walk to school has now turned into a risky journey across water, with learners depending on a small boat to access the flooded classrooms. Take a look.
Loruk Comprehensive School, situated in Baringo North Sub-County. Access to learning here has become a risky affair. The boat, which carries only 7 pupils at a time, serves more than 250 learners, causing major delays in reporting to school. Some pupils are forced to wait for several trips before crossing, with others arriving late for lessons in the morning.
Tunawaomba mtusaidie. Hawa watoto ni wachanga sana. Na masomo lazima iendelee juu ni maisha ya baadaye ya mtoto. Kwa wale wote wanahusika na watoto, tunaomba mkimbie mtusaidie aswa kuhamisha hii shule, tutafute suluhisho ya kudumu.
Parents say the situation has become both stressful and expensive, as each learner is required to pay for transport wherever using the boat, increasing the financial burden on families already struggling with tough economic conditions.
Watoto wasasi wanatuma shule watoto kwenda kuja shule. Lazima apatie kila mtoto shilingi 80. Kwa sababu hii boat ambayo ni ya private wanalipisha kila mtu shilingi 20. Alafu sasa mtoto anakuja nyumbani na lipa 20. Alafu lunch hours wanalipa 20 kwa sababu chakula haiko shule.
Hiyo boat jioni iko na kazi sababu iko na upepo. Sana asubuhi na kama 5 trips. Hapo naweka watu 7 pamoja na mimi. Naleta mpaka shule. Narudi tena.
Parts of the school have already been affected by the flooding, with toilets submerged and water inching closer to classrooms. Residents also fear for the safety of children, warning that crocodiles and hippos roaming the flooded areas pose a serious threat to learners. They are now calling both the county and national governments to intervene urgently and find a permanent solution. Michael Mondiga for Lunchtime News.
Motorists across the country will soon be able to access vehicle logbooks online and transfer ownership digitally following the launch of new electronic services by the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA. I was speaking during a press briefing in Nairobi. NTSA Director Nashon Kindewa said the new system will enhance efficiency, improve convenience, and lower the cost of accessing services.
You will not be walking around to NTSA and queuing to get your logbook. You will have it in your online portal. It means that when you transfer a vehicle, the moment it is approved, you have your logbook. You don't need to physically move around, spend your fares and spend your time, or deal with brokers. We have seamless integrations with banks for those who want to use these documents for access to loans, and we have reduced risk of loss or theft. See, as we speak, When you lose your logbook, you don't know where it is. And that means that it's easy to forge these documents that are physical, and this is what we are preventing.
The State Department for Correctional Services is working closely with the judiciary to decongest the prisons by releasing inmates with minor offences. Speaking during a tree planting exercise at Kitui Main and Women's Prison, Correctional Services Principal Secretary Salome Biako said the government has put measures in place to ensure the decongestion in the prisons becomes a thing of the past. She revealed that through the power of the Mercy program, the president has already freed around 450 inmates last year. The department has been collaborating with the judiciary to review some sentences to subsequently pardon the inmates.
And now the judiciary has been in the forefront of ensuring that is done. So we have regular routine programs of decongesting, particularly inmates who have very few months left to be released. We are doing a lot of reforms in terms of rehabilitation and reform, and so that we can resettle these inmates and reintegrate them back into society. And that is an ongoing program, and it is gaining a lot of traction because it's taking place simultaneously across the country.
Tension gripped a Siagini area in Kirinyaga County after angry residents dramatically halted the burial of a 30-year-old man, demanding justice over his alleged killing linked to a local bishop. Mourners carried the deceased casket for several kilometers before abandoning it at a Siagini police station in protest.
What was expected to be a somber burial ceremony for a 30-year-old Martin Kara turned into a dramatic protest in Siagini village, Mwea, Kirinyaga County. Angry residents and friends of the deceased stopped the burial procession and carried Kara's casket for nearly 6 kilometers to Siagini police station, accusing authorities of delaying justice. Residents accused a local of allegedly hiring 3 men, among them 2 relatives, to assault the deceased last week. Speaking during the protest, area resident Paul Munene questioned why the bishop had not yet been arraigned in court.
Tulichukua mwili kwa mochari tukapeleka nyumbani. Ile shinda ingine tumepata pale, wakati chifu aliongea, alisema hiyo mtu anja kamatwa. Sasa tukashindwa. Ati hiyo maneno tutasuluhisha baadaye. Tutasuluhisha baadaye anje. Kwa hivyo sisi tunataka haki yetu. According to reports, the bishop, who is also said to be Martin Kara's neighbor, had accused him of stealing a 90-kilogram bag of rice and a chicken belonging to his cousins a day before the fatal incident. Kara later died near a local private hospital following the alleged assault. The incident sparked outrage in the village, with angry residents last week storming the bishop's compound and setting it on fire.
Kama jinsi mnavyojua tulikuwa na mazishi ya Martin, lakini sisi kama vijana tumekataa azikwe kwa sababu hatujaona haki yake.
Tubeba mwili kutoka kwenye ilikuwa na tumezika hiyo shimo, tukaileta hadi police station. Na tunataka justice ya Martin.
Mwea West Sub-County Police Commander Millicent Ngugi confirmed that the suspect had been arrested and remains in police custody pending arraignment.
Na sisi kama polisi tumeweza kufanya kitendo chetu, tumeshika mshukiwa ako katika cells zetu.
The mourners later buried a banana stem instead, insisting that Martin Kara would not be laid to rest until justice is served. His body was later returned to the Kerugoya Level 5 mortuary. For Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
No, thank you, Teresa Mutai, for that story. Now, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has raised serious concerns regarding the active participation of state and public officers engaging in political campaigns. The anti-graft body warns that engagement in politics by state officers could lead to a culture of lawlessness, impunity, and an unequal political playing field, while acknowledging that the Leadership and Integrity Act provides limited exemptions for CSs. The EACC has declared that other state officers, particularly principal secretaries, are strictly required to remain apolitical.
The law is actually very clear on the responsibilities of public officials when it comes to engaging in politics. And we are called upon to be neutral when it comes to our political activities. In fact, it's only very limited number of individuals like the CSS and CECs in the counties that can, take a stand in terms of their political affiliation. But as far as the other public officials and state officials are concerned, they are supposed to abide by the law. And of course, as a commission that is empowered to implement and to enforce Chapter 6, we will not hesitate to take action where necessary.
I would get the impression that I am not welcome to a public office because that particular public officer is speaking on a partisan position. So that's where that law was put in place. And ours is to encourage all those people who hold public offices that they should desist, because they are politicians whose day-to-day job is to articulate the positions of their parties, the political positions on various items. Ours is to serve and serve the whole public irrespective of their stand.
Now, the Dagoretti ASP Sub-County Commander, in collaboration with the Gekami Masterseed Foundation and officials from the Community Relations Foundation, are set to organize a Mother's Day Women Peace Cup this coming weekend at Getina Primary School. The event will bring together women, community leaders, youth groups and stakeholders from informal settlements in an initiative aimed at promoting peace, unity and social cohesion through sports and community engagement. Dr. Margaret Gekami says the initiative is aimed at bridging the gap among diverse communities living in informal settlements and strengthening unity among residents through dialogue and sports activities. Community Relations Foundation Women's Chairlady Mildred Kabochi urged women to take advantage of the occasion to create awareness against crime and gender-based violence affecting women and girls in the society.
It will also go beyond just empowerment to also creating an opportunity where they can interact with one another, get to know one another very well, build a cohesive community, and at the end of the day, we can also urge them to also be peace ambassadors in the society. Women in our society, they really play a big role. And once we empower a woman, we have not only empowered her household, but we have also empowered the community and nation at large.
Sasa tunatangaza amani kwa wamama wote, ndio sababu tumeleta hii cup, tumeleta hii peace cup kwa sababu ya wamama na watoto wetu wote pamoja.
Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has announced tough measures in the next recruitment of police officers. Now, while applauding the National Police Service for dismissing 54 recruits from Kiganjo Police Training College over disciplinary and integrity issues, the CS said the service will enhance a process through strict assessment of cognitive abilities, criminal records, and conducting drug tests to ensure only qualified and disciplined individuals are recruited.
The CS, who was speaking at the National Police Training College main campus, Kiganjo in Nyeri County,
Cabinet Secretary for Interior National Administration, salute!
During an assessment visit of the recruits' basic training course, noted that the recruits are highly anticipated as they are expected to inject new energy into efforts to combat security threats in the country, including dealing with criminal gangs and politically sponsored goons.
It would also be firm in the recruitment and say sorry for those who... either the test to be done in the field or when someone is arriving, the first thing before they report, they come with the test.
While commending the standards of police training institutions in the country, the CS also noted that Kenya will greatly benefit from establishing a National Police Service University that will not only serve the country, but attract trainees from neighboring countries and beyond. The CS was accompanied by Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja, Deputy Inspector General Kenya Police Service Eliud Lagat, Central Regional Commissioner Joshua Kanatha, and other senior government officials.
We have over 100,000 officers. We should be able to train our officers and also train the members of public, and also open door for regional training for police officers that come from different countries. There is really a big appetite from our neighbors to have the kind of training we have.
Among them, 54 had their causes terminated because of various reasons. 1, pregnancy and related issues, 18 were discontinued. Forged academic certificates, 18 were discontinued. Forged identification documents, 2 were discontinued. Health conditions, 2 were discontinued. Disciplinary issues, 3 were discontinued. Previous conviction, 10 were discontinued. And then 1 opted out due to sickness.
Michael Mundiga for Lunchtime News.
I take you to the corridors of justice. The Kahawa Law Court has granted the Director of Public Prosecution 14 more days to complete its investigation involving Bare Sareh Ahmed. The Prosecution Counsel James Mashir told the court that the investigating officer needs time to facilitate a forwarding of the case file to the DPP for legal advice and direction. He noted the case has a public concern in certain regions of the country, making it necessary for the DPP to review the file before any decision is made. Now, Bare Sareh Ahmed was arrested over allegations of spreading hate speech and incitement threatening national unity. The matter will be mentioned on 21st May for further directions from the ODPP.
Requesting in order that we get an extension so that we can be able to mention this matter in 14 days.
Respiratory experts are raising concerns over the growing burden of asthma in Kenya, with data from the World Health Organization indicating that Kenya records 2,300 asthma-related deaths per year. Now, according to Justice Simba, consultant pediatric pulmonologist, most of these deaths are linked to poor disease management, despite asthma being a largely controllable condition. He noted that children living in urban settings remain vulnerable due to exposure to environmental triggers such as vehicle emissions, construction dust, and allergies. Experts are also calling for a prolonged approach to address the growing burden of asthma, including improving access to essential medications such as inhalers, strengthening patient and caregiver education, and also equipping healthcare workers with the resources and time needed to provide comprehensive care.
So one of the challenges that affects asthma diagnosis is actually perceptions and misconception around the whole condition. So while people are happy to say that they have allergies in the nose or elsewhere, or even the skin, people do not easily accept the word asthma as a diagnosis. So asthma, the word, has a lot of stigma.
When you are growing up with asthma as a child, sometimes the teachers or the other pupils don't know how to manage it. It ends up complicating and leading to something else. I would like to encourage the awareness about asthma.
Asthma is a chronic inflammation of the airway, and mostly it's because of the environmental factors. So this child is limited, either you will find some are limited to swimming, no swimming for them, no playing because they're affected by dust. Asthma is heterogeneous. How it affects you, it's not how it affects every other child.
Now, a local environmental organization has intensified efforts to complement the government's target of planting 15 billion trees by 2032 through a major seedling distribution initiative targeting both farmers and non-farmers. Now, the 1 Acre Funds to Pande program targets schools, churches, and local communities to improve household incomes while also promoting environmental conservation. Apart from ordinary trees, the initiative also includes distributing fruit tree seedlings and medicinal plants for use in treating both humans and livestock. Now speaking in Ikonyero on the outskirts of Kakamega town, nursery operator James Care urged farmers to follow proper planting guidelines to ensure the seedlings achieve maximum growth and benefits. Women have also been encouraged to actively participate in the program and abandon outdated cultural beliefs that previously discouraged them from engaging in tree planting activities.
At least tuna increase kipato cha wakulima wetu wanapopanda miti kuendana na mazao ya kawaida kama ni chakula. Miti itatusaidia kuongeza mapato ya wakulima wetu kwa miaka ambazo zinakuja.
Na waelekeza before waende, tunawaambia wasipande kando ya mito ama chemichemi ya maji.
Ilikuwa mambo ya kitambo, lakini saa hizi tuko wakati wa kisasa. Ninaweza panda mti ukae kwa boma, ninaweza panda hata ndizi na itaendelea. Lakini kitambo mwanamke alikuwa akipanda inakufa, walikuwa wanaamini hivyo. Lakini kwa sasa mwanamke nikipanda itafanya kazi. Sasa sisi wanawake tufanye nini? Tupande miti.
Now let's revisit the West Pokot story where a gold mine tragedy has claimed 11 lives and of course several others injured who are still now receiving treatment at Kapenguria Referral Hospital, and Governor Simon Kechapin says the rescue efforts are also ongoing at the Rumors gold mine site.
Funikwa na hiyo mikodi mahali wamekuwa wakijimba mambo ya gold, na idadi kamili ya wale wamefariki, idadi kamili bado hatujapata. Bado kuna habari kwamba kati ya watu 8 na watu 11 wamefariki, lakini nafurahi jana tulituma ambulance ya county 2.
Another story from West Pokot takes us to a very short commercial break. Don't go too fast, still so much more coming.
A continent full of potential, a future full of possibility. The time is now. This May, the world watches Nairobi as Africa and France come together for innovation, growth, and the partnerships that will define our tomorrow. This is the Africa Forward Summit. On May 11th, KBC and Y254 go live from the University of Nairobi for the Africa Forward Business Forum, where 1,500 leaders, CEOs, and young entrepreneurs connect for green growth, AI, and investment. Then on May 12th, we take you live to the Kenyatta International Convention Center for the main Heads of State Summit, with the main focus being green industrialization and energy transition, reform of the international financial architecture, blue economy, sustainable agriculture, peace and security. Africa Forward Summit, live on KBC Channel 1 and Y254. Don't miss it.
Unaleta kotini sababu ya 250,000 only. Kumbuka kurudi chini nilikutana na ngumi ya kifua Pokot. Nikamuuliza bwana, ndiye tunaulizana nini? Hiyo strike yetu ni mtu ya kukosa goli akapiga mpira mpaka Northwest. Sasa si hivyo ndio yeye lifundishwa.
Anaona hao watu wengine hao iko chini, hakuna kitu unaweza waambia yeye.
So they come the guys inside. Walitoa fujo, wakatukanana, halafu vitu zangu za hoteli zikafunjwa.
TV yangu ile kubwa ya 2 inches ikafutwa.
2 inches ni gani?
Got the fear of missing out? Want to keep up with all the latest entertainment news and latest celebrity gossip? From the latest rumors to popping events to the newest fashion trends, here is where you get all the tea or juice when it comes to entertainment, and you get it served on time. All that and so much more on Grapevine every single Monday from 10 p.m. and a rerun every Tuesday from 2 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1. Remember, if you did not see it on Grapevine, then it most probably never happened.
And welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. And more than 200 residents affected by human-wildlife conflict in Tenerife County have received a compensation from the government, a move aimed at easing the burden on families affected by wildlife attacks and destruction of property. The compensation exercise conducted in Hola saw victims of wildlife attacks receive a part of over 170 million shillings disbursed by the State Department for Wildlife. Speaking during the event, Dr. John Tumo noted that the initiative forms a part of the government's efforts to reduce the impact of wildlife attacks and ensure affected residents receive timely support.
We have compensated 225 people who for the last 10 or even over 10 years, they have been waiting for this. We are saying that we are giving them about 172 million. That means there are people who lost their beloved ones, the others who lost their crops, the others who were injured.
We want a digital filing system for claims so that everything is done online and claims are processed very fast. We are happy to hear that they have started pilot on 6 counties. We want this to be rolled out very quickly to Tana River County and the rest of the nation.
More than 170 youth contractors from the Nyanza and Western regions gathered in Kisumu for a capacity building program aimed at improving access to financing, training and business opportunities in the construction sector. Now, the program, organized by the National Construction Authority in partnership with other stakeholders, seeks to empower youth contractors and classified under NCA categories 5 to 8, and is also aimed at equipping youth-led firms with skills and networks needed to grow in the construction industry.
We are on a mission to build a capacity and also give them opportunities where they can be able to develop their businesses.
We do know that contractors face a number of challenges. Yes, financing is available, but what we notice is that it is not quite affordable. Therefore, Youth Enterprise Development Fund, being a government agency, is here to give them a variety of options within which they can be able to access finances.
Now, residents of Nanyuki town and its surrounding areas are said to benefit from improved water supply following the completion of a 48 million shilling new water intake project in Mount Kenya Forest, which has now increased daily water production by 6 million litres. Speaking during the launch of piping works for phase 3 of the project, Laikipia Governor Joshua Irongo said the growing population in the region had continued to strain old water infrastructure, leading to frequent water rationing. He noted that the project will not only benefit residents of Laikipia County, but will also extend a reliable water supply to neighboring Nyeri and Meru counties for the next 20 years.
Maji ni kama 300 km squared. Na kwa hivyo tukaonelea kwa miaka mingi maji ya Nanyuki wamekuwa mara nyingi wanapata maji siku 3 kwa wiki. Kwingine eneo zingine wanapata hata mara 2 kwa wiki. Shida ingine kubwa ni ya kwamba wale wamejenga manyumba marefu ya kubwa, mara nyingine hawapatagi pressure ya maji na kuaga kidogo sana. Na kwa hivyo board pamoja na stakeholders na shareholders wa kampuni na ndio county government tukaona ni ya muhimu tuende kwa bank na tuombe pesa, na ndio tukaanzisha huu mradi kuongezea maji kwa sababu Nanyuki town na vile inaendelea na kukua ilikuwa tayari na deficit ya 4,000 cubic meter. Hiyo ni kumaanisha kwa kila siku kulikuwa na upungufu wa maji milioni zaidi ya 4.
Now we take you to Isiolo County, where more than 100 Moran leaders from pastoralist communities in northern Kenya have completed a peace building and capacity training forum in Isiolo County. The leaders drawn from Samburu, Turkana, Rendile, Borana and Somali communities are expected to champion peace and discourage cattle rustling and banditry in the villages. Now, the two-day forum was organized through a partnership between the Northern Rangelands Trust and the National Government Administration officials, who says initiative seeks to directly engage Morans who are often linked to cattle raids and insecurity in the region. Participants were encouraged to embrace business and education as alternatives to banditry. And the government has also reiterated its commitment to ongoing security operations aimed at restoring peace in the affected counties.
Kwa hapa kuelimisha hawa vijana ya kwamba wapelekee wale wenzao ambao wanaongoza waweze kuachana na mambo ya wizi.
Sana hii mafundisho ndo hata sisi sai nasimama hapa, mimi nimeokoka sai kwa kanisani, hata naenda kuhubiria watu huko, lakini kupata tu support ya watu tu na kuambia tu sisi hii kitu ya amani. Sasa na hii kitu ya waisi naisha. Sasa watu kama 200-300 hiyo waisi anaisha.
Kusoma hapa ni nini ya amani. Sisi tulikuwa tunasikia tu amani, lakini kutoka leo tumejua amani ni nini.
Tuko hapa hivi sio wote ni waisi, iko tu waisi ile kwa tokatai, lakini tukupata mafunzo tutabadilika, kwa sababu niko na hakika hakuna siku mtu amezaliwa kwamba sio wizi. Amezaliwa tu mtu tu akakuja akakuwa mwizi, lakini tukupata mafunzo kama hii anariti, sisi wote tutabadilika.
Now from Isiolo, we take you to Embu County, where security agencies in Embu County have launched a sting operation following an increase in cases of car theft, burglary and muggings in Embu town and even the surrounding areas. Traders in the town are finding it difficult to operate smoothly due to fear caused by criminal incidents. Now, Embu County Commissioner Maurice Wanyonyi said a multi-agency security team has been deployed to conduct coordinated operations aimed at restoring order and protecting residents as well as businesses.
Nimeambiwa jana kwamba wanatembea kwa maboma za watu wakijifanya kwamba wananunua scrap metals. Wanaulizia watu na kumbe wanafanya upelelezi kujua hapa kumekaa namna gani. Kwa hivyo wananchi, msikubali watu ambao ni wageni kuwatembelea bila kujua ni akina nani. Tuko na mtu ambaye alishikwa na wengine tungali tunatafuta. Huyu ni mtu ambaye alikuwa ananunua vifaa vya elektroniki ambavyo ni vya wizi, na alishikwa na vile vifaa vikapatikana viko katika police station.
Jua linapotua hiyo sasa inakuwa wasichana wanawezi tembea, kina mama hawawezi kutembea, unanyang'anywa mifuko, umenyang'anywa simu kwa sababu the streets lights za Embu zilizima.
Now from Embu, we take you to Muranga County, where a fresh political storm is brewing in Muranga County after senior leaders allied to the ruling UDA party launched a sharp attack against Governor Irungu Kang'ata over his recent remarks distancing himself from the government. Now led by Lands Cabinet Secretary Liz Wahome, the leaders accused Governor Kang'ata of openly fighting the government despite being elected under the UDA party.
Speaking in Makuyu Ward, Maragua constituency, Wahome also accused the governor of allegedly failing to ensure all Muranga residents receive proper healthcare services. Reacting to Governor Kangata's announcement that he may no longer seek re-election using UDA ticket, CS Wahome challenged Kangata to focus on delivering development instead of engaging in political confrontations with the Kenya Kwanza administration. CS Wahome's sentiments were echoed by Maragua MP Mary Waithira.
Maneno ya hospitali hii hapa ni kazi ya gavana. Tangu rais ataje aseme atajitolea hata kutoka mfuko apeleke pesa hapo. Gavana hakuna simu, gavana hakuna barua ya kufuatilia. Hakuna dawa au dawa iko. Hakuna vitada, hakuna mattresses, hakuna beddings. Na bado tuko na shortage ya madaktari na ni kazi yake.
The leaders warned Governor Kangata to brace himself up for a tough political contest ahead of the 2027 general elections.
Ulikuja Januari 2022 na ukatuomba ruhusa, ukatuuliza tukupatie support na hatukuwa na vita na wewe. Sasa umeondoka, wacha kutuambia hutasimama na UDA. Wewe jipange na sisi tujipange.
Joseph Ohungu for Lunchtime News.
Now, away from politics, the government has been urged to channel more money into the tourism industry to unlock the full potential of the sector. Now, this clearing call was made in a meeting in Nairobi that brought together a section of women leaders who hailed the Tourism Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano for steering strategic efforts in repositioning Kenya as a leading global tourism destination. Now, His Eminence Archbishop Andreas Macarius of the Orthodox Church says that the Orthodox Church education program offering free education to vulnerable children at a St. Clement Orthodox Primary School in the Dagoretti South has enabled many children to acquire quality education. Our school head teacher Vincent Adser says the initiative has retained children in school. Students, on the other hand, say they are optimistic to perform exemplary as Term 2 enters its second week.
Our people here in the primary, St. Clements, you see, they are the less fortunate children, because they are not able to go to school, they are not able to pay the school fees, but we are giving them the opportunity at this moment to study free.
The learners have enough food, they have all the resources required for learning, and also the teachers have been facilitated, so everything is running on smoothly.
And I am a girl.
Have joined their counterparts across the world in commemorating the International Nurses Week celebrations amidst calls for improved working conditions and better healthcare services, especially in public health facilities. Now led by Kenya National Union of Nurses, Migori branch chairperson Okeo Ochieng, the nurses who marked the start of the International Nurses Week celebrations by gifting mothers who had recently delivered at Awendo Sub-County Hospital, urged the Migori County government to recruit more nurses to boost service delivery. Migori County Chief Officer for Health Samuel Atula acknowledged the concerns and said the county government is in the process of hiring additional nurses.
Our call is actually to the stakeholders in the health department in Migori County to empower nurses. We need empowerment through education in specialized trainings. We need empowerment by offering right patient-nurse ratios.
We need more budget to come down to the Department of Health so that the health facilities, the public health facilities, to be specific, to be improved, so that we offer holistic care, regardless from the people that are offering care at home.
We have a few teething problems as a county government that we are continuously addressing. Key among them is the gaps we have in terms of staffing across all levels of care. And we are doing recruitment currently.
Young people in Kilifi County have been urged to enroll in local technical institutions in order to acquire skills needed in the growing blue economy sector. The call comes amidst concerns that more than 300,000 young people in the county lack the technical skills acquired or rather required to access opportunities in the job market. I was speaking at Muyaya Technical Institute in Malindi constituency during the launch of hospitality and culinary training courses. Stakeholders said technical education remains key to unlocking employment and entrepreneurship opportunities for the young people.
Opportunity ya hizi courses ambazo tume launch, they should train, and with a little enhancement they'll be set. Sio lazima wafanye kazi kwa mahoteli tu, though I agree kuwa hoteli pia iko in the hospitality and tourism sector, which is a subsector of the blue economy, lakini pia wanaweza enda kufanya kazi kwingine.
This is a coordinated project by CICAN, which is Colleges and Institutes Canada, a membership-based organization that represents all of the colleges and public polytechnic institutions all across Canada.
Hivyo vifaa vitatusaidia tunapoenda kazi mahali kwingine, kwa maana tunaposoma imaanishi kwamba tunasoma tu hapa peke yake. Lazima tutaenda mahali kwingine na tutapata vyombo vingine tofauti.
I think as vocational training centers, I urge the managers to diversify the courses, so that wanafunzi wanapotaka kusoma course tofauti tuwe tunaweza kusomesha hawa vijana ili wawe watafit in the job market. And I've always been saying as the CC, we are not only training for Kilifi jobs, we are training for Kenya, we are training for the whole world.
Now, the county government of Bungoma has launched a resource center at Bukembe Ward that will centralize access to services offered by the county. Now, speaking during the occasion area, Governor Ken Lusaka said the center will go a long way in enhancing business in the county as well as enable the locals, especially the young generation, easily access information about services offered. The resource center contains a library and a computer lab which shall be used by many to boost their businesses. He, however, warned the youth against using the computer lab as a tool for spewing and propagating hate. Lusaka also hailed the area member of the county assembly for making the project a reality, challenged other MCAs to emulate the same in their respective wards. Now let's get to business. Food delivery platform Glovo has announced plans to invest 10 billion shillings in Kenya by the year 2030 in an expansion drive that is expected to double the workforce to 1,200. Now, Glovo Kenya Managing Director Caroline Mutuku says the new investment will support technology, operations and expansion to more towns in Kenya.
Billion shilling investment over the next 5 years will support expansion across its delivery network, merchant partnerships, and technology operations. Currently, the firm, which has operations in 12 towns, employs over 6,000 people, supports over 6,000 merchants, and 2,200 active riders daily.
Out of the 22 markets, 6 of them are in Africa, so around 25% of our footprint is here in the continent, and it's one of the fastest growing in terms of Glovo total.
Expansion of digital platforms and technology-driven businesses is supporting the growth of the ICT sector, accommodation, and food services.
Glovo business, as you know, and you feel, is not just about the top-line growth of 40%. year on year and the revenue that it brings to us, or even the sales to our, every euro, every shilling that passes through Glovo has a direct impact on the local ecosystem.
Glovo has opened a new regional headquarters in Nairobi that will serve as part of its African operations hub, supporting technology and business functions across the continent. Ndutamo Kami for Lunchtime News.
Now, local electric vehicle stakeholders are targeting French investors in the upcoming Africa Forward Summit to secure partnerships. Now, Lungho Group Managing Director Richard Chesebe says the local e-mobility startups are seeking additional working capital to expand charging infrastructure in remote areas and last-mile transport of goods and services. Kenya is set to host the Africa France Summit 2026 from the 11th to the 12th of May in Nairobi. The meeting brings together heads of state, investors and policymakers to discuss ways to drive French investments on the continent.
Were so much keen on selling power and selling energy as opposed to giving solutions for green energy. So we decided in that case we are providing solution that is so local. There is a common understanding that there are 2 million users of e-mobility in Kenya, and to that effect it's becoming a big challenge, and that is a question that all of us need to ask ourselves. Why is it that we have less than 30,000 users for the same?
Now, Stanbic Bank Kenya has reported 3.5 billion shillings, representing a 5.5% growth in net profit that was driven by an increased interest income and a 59% reduction in loan loss provisions.
Net loans and advances increased from 244.01 billion shillings to 258.16 billion shillings. From these, the lender booked 11.53 billion shillings in total interest income, which was 4.7% higher than the 11 billion shillings registered during the first 3 months of 2025. Lower interest income on loans and advances was offset by higher interest income on deposits and placements with banking institutions. In addition, total non-interest income reduced from 2.76 billion shillings to 2.38 billion shillings, mainly on account of lower foreign exchange trading income. On the other hand, other operating expenses reduced 5.45 billion shillings to 5.03 billion shillings. This was mainly on account of lower loan loss provision that reduced from 855.5 million shillings to 350.14 million shillings. This is despite staff costs increasing from 2.1 billion shillings to 2.49 billion shillings. Gross non-performing loans and advances increased from 22.94 billion shillings to 23.31 billion shillings. Total assets increased 23% from 450 billion shillings to 552 billion shillings on account of higher loans and advances due to the recovery of the private sector. Alanoko, Lunchtime News.
Now, for most Kenyans, insurance remains a distant dream, seen as costly, complex, and even out of reach. But insurers in Kenya are leveraging data, automation, and mobile technology to bridge the gap. The goal here is to make an uptake of insurance simple, affordable, and even available to those who have long been left out. Earlier, our reporter Ben Troy had a chat with Dr. Ben Kajwang, who is the CEO of a College of Insurance, to discuss technology and insurance trends. This is how the conversation went.
Here at the EDGE Convention, which is hosting the Africa Connected Summit, and on the backdrop of everything that is being talked about in the hall, we are now joined by the man who has assisted to put this thing together with the director and CEO of the Kenya College of Insurance. We are at his office, and the College of Insurance has been very instrumental in organizing the 15th edition of the Connected Africa Summit, where we are looking at a number of things, including digitization in the insurance industry. He's not a very new name because he is also the president of the African Insurance Organization. And without further ado, allow me to introduce my panelist, Dr. Ben Kajwang. Karibu sana, Doc.
Thank you very much.
Where does the College of Insurance and indeed the insurance industry fit into all this when you talk about a unified digital African market?
You cannot talk about technology without institutions. You cannot talk about technology without the skills. You cannot talk about technology without what we call the infrastructure. And that is where we come in. So we've come in from the infrastructure part of it by putting up a venue, but we also now build skills, especially for the insurance industry. This is the institution which has been building capacity for the insurance industry, initially for Kenya, then we moved to the region, then of course over time we are serving Comesa region. And I want to indicate to you that right now we are serving the whole of Africa, all the 54, 55 countries.
I'm looking at insurance in African countries, especially developing countries like Kenya, but the uptake is a little bit low. We are talking about 3%. How can digital innovations help us scale that?
From the academic perspective, from where we sit, we are already on the digital platform. So that means we are already able to deliver courses or the programs to several other people that ordinarily would have physically come here. And we've now gone even outside the country, now to the continent, in terms of what we call the deliveries. And in terms of what we call penetration, of course penetration has been said to be a little bit low. But I think we are moving we are making great strides towards this. And for your information, you say Kenya is low, but to compare to our other neighbors or just the rest of the continent, we are not very far away. According to the statistics, or what we call the barometer, usually published by the African Insurance Organization, Kenya now oscillates between number 4 and number 5 in the whole continent. So we are also, to a large extent, a giant in the insurance industry.
In as much as we also are digitizing and moving to AI, there's also the issue of cybersecurity, and especially in the insurance sector. How can Kenya leverage on its technology to ensure that it's not only that we are looking at better, faster insurance services, but we are also looking at the massive cybersecurity threat that comes with innovation?
Yeah, that is always there, and even from the insurance industry, from the word go before, insurance, and typical with the financial sector players, what has always been there is they've always taken what they call a conservative approach over the years. And even this digitization, which they have now embraced, but they did what we call, they've always done what we call a very comprehensive study before embracing all this. So one of the things the insurance industry has done, not only here in Kenya, but everywhere else, is to develop what we call the cybersecurity risk covers. Just to not only protect them, but also to protect the other sectors of all together. But in between, they also still continue working with what we call IT firms, security firms, to fortify and what we call reinforce, put a glass ceiling so that some what we call the cyber attacks can be contained. Number 2, there is also what we call the off-site data storage. So the information maybe with the company A is not only available just there. So even if there was something and it disappears, some of them even save them in the cloud, and they have also what we call backsites in other places altogether. So the insurance industry is an industry of risk, managing risks. So they try to manage the risk for themselves and manage the risk for others.
In last year conference, we were talking about also climate technologies, and we know very well that we also have insurance in matters, crops, animals. So how can we leverage on technology and innovation to scale up such kind of climate, when we're talking about climate smart technologies, climate insurance?
Luckily enough, we are one of the institutions here in Africa that have had the honor and the privilege to build capacity on agriculture insurance. So the very first one, several years back, around 8-9 years back, we were funded by the United States Agency for International Development to develop what we call a regional certification in agriculture. Then later on, we partnered with the World Bank on what we refer to as the weather risk or risk management. And we have developed capacity for a number of people, especially the ones working on the water, they will refer to as the agricultural risk, whether it's livestock, whether it is crops and whatever it is. So in terms of technology, there are so many other parties that need to get involved for proper insurance to be designed. Remember, when we're talking about climate risk, we are talking about generally weather, either excessive temperature or sunshine or rainfall or whatever it is. So the Met Department also comes handy. But there's also the element of investment from the insurance industry, whereby they are able to get what they call the real-time readings from those particular locations. Like now, when we are talking about livestock insurance in Northeastern, they will be able to determine whether when the grass gets around to a certain level, then of course compensation is triggered from that to that extent. And when there is what they call when there is excessive rainfall, they are able to know. So they have, or rather we have to leverage on technology to know this together with other partners altogether, because there's no way the underwriting will take place without the requisite technology.
Let's look at InsurTech innovation. Insurance and technology are also coming together and meeting at a cross point. And is this actually muscling out the traditional insurance, or is it offering complementation?
From where I sit, I think it's offering complementation. You just raised the issue of low insurance uptake.
Yes.
And when you're talking about InsurTech risk, this is a scheme where in a number of instances we'll be working with what they call the tech companies, for example, the likes of Safaricom, to distribute the insurance, Safaricom, the Airtels of this one, to distribute the insurance. And the insurance can be bundled as one of the products, and just like even the bank, so that even when you purchase, for example, let's say airtime, whatever it is, there's an element of the insurance component which is involved. So in that way, it will help now to reach the uninsured. At least there will be some basic cover to that extent. So the InsurTech, to a large extent, is helping the insurance industry to expand. And I'm sure in another few years, the insurance industry is going to be very big.
How important are partnership, especially in this sector, now that we are in the digital space?
So we are to partner with the agronomy, some of them we are getting from ILRI, then you partner with the Kenya Meteorological Department, then you bring all these players, then of course now there is also now the Safaricom, so this one now to provide all this data. So any program, any curriculum that is being put together, there are so many parties that are involved. So that is what we call the power of partnership.
And as we wrap up, the future of insurance in the country and in the continent in the digital space?
I can say the future is great, and insurance is going to be one of the big drivers for the economic development. It's actually one of the main pillars, because even the big infrastructural projects being undertaken, even the financing, without the component of insurance, even the lenders will not give money. So insurance is very, very crucial, from the bonds to all these other things. So
thank you, Daktari, for making time for us, and for your insight as well. So congratulations on the very successful 15th edition of the Connected Africa Summit.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have been speaking to Dr. Ben Kajwang, who is the CEO of the College of Insurance and also the president of the African Insurance Organization, a continental body that is in insurance and brings about insurance players and also policymakers. We have been looking at matters insurance, and especially when you talk about insurance in the digital space. Thank you so much. My name is Ben Troy Njue.
No, thank you, Ben Troinjwe, for that interview. Now, let's get sporty. Posta Rangers, Ulinzi Stars, Kariobangi Sharks and Bidco United are all locked in a must-win fixtures, but for survival, with relegation knocking on their doors. The four sides are separated by 9 points on the FKF Premier League table, with Posta Rangers, the better side of the four, on 33 points in 14th position, while Bidco United are worst of the four, sitting second from bottom with just 24 points.
Posta Rangers, Ulinzi Stars, Kariobangi Sharks and Bidco United are the four FKF Premier League teams still in danger of following Sofapaka in relegation and have an uphill task starting this weekend, as they cannot afford to sleep with only 4 matches left to play this season. Kariobangi Sharks, sitting 16th on the table, will play Nairobi United, searching for only their 7th win of the season and 3 points that will keep alive their hopes of survival. Their opponents, Nairobi United, have registered 13 wins this season and sit 4th on the table with 48 points, just 3 points behind third placed and defending champions Kenya Police. Ulinzi Stars, in 15th position with 31 points, have a difficult trip to Shabana as they seek a 9th win of the season. Ulinzi, however, are better placed than their relegation friends as they have a match at hand. They will play Shabana, who are 16 points above them in 6th position. Posta Rangers may have an easy test as they play already relegated Sofapaka and need just 2 wins to almost guarantee themselves of safety.
Ipo juu kwa juu kwenda kumlipa.
Bidco United are in more danger. They must win their remaining matches to have any chance of survival, hoping the other sides continue to drop points. Bidco will play former champions Tusker FC in their need of maximum points to continue closing the gap as they are 6 points behind Kariobangi Sharks. A total of 9 matches will be played, with the biggest game pitting leaders and title contenders Gor Mahia against defending champions Kenya Police.
That's where we end our lunchtime news here on KBC Channel 1. It's coming to live from Kenya Broadcasting, or the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. And my name is Giverson. My language interpreter is Susan Thuku. See you again tomorrow. Same place, same time.
UN?
Who's we? You and me?
Yeah. Of course. Any couple not planning on marrying is just messing around. A decent woman like you wouldn't do that, would you?
What does that mean? Your old way of just flipping the table and taking off? That's a queen, not a girlfriend.
Love has really done wonders for him. He's not bedridden anymore. He even runs faster than before. That's right.
My name is Irene Muigai.
My name is Steve Muigai Kim. We met at campus at Egerton University, Joro.
I just saw a guy and we grew to be very good friends.
Lakini alikuwa nakatiwa anakuja ananiambia niliachwa.
And he asked me to be the girlfriend.
Dad did not attend their wedding.
Mom, Dad ako wapi? Kwani hawajafika? My uncle had to be pulled.
We differed. Ile mbaya ile ya kuachana. Just because of a key holder. Was it a key holder?
And so I'm very intentional as a mom to help my kids process things.
Who apologizes first after a fight?
Oh.